We're starting?
Yeah.
Okay. This is our first ever YouTube video with each other. And I would say this is a very humbling experience for me because I am 8 months pregnant making this video. So I just feel a little insecure about my weight. But I think that this is the perfect time to make it. So what is our video going to be about? Our video is going to be about I'm saved and he's not, and how we navigate our marriage. I think that this was such a interesting topic for me simply because I've been saved. For a little backstory. So we're married. We've been married for 9 years, but I only been saved for about a year. So about a year ago, I gave my life to Jesus Christ and decided to be a Christ follower. So, but anybody who is saved, everybody's journey looks different, but mine was like a slope. First, I got saved, but I didn't really know Christ. And then as I started to read my Bible, read my word, be in worship, praying, and just getting to know him, that's when the conviction started. And that's when I really decided, like, I have to live by this Bible. However, he is not saved. So when I say I'm saved, this is what I mean. I mean that I read my word. I believe that Jesus Christ is God, and I try to live my life the best I can by his word, which is the Holy Bible. And so what is your perspective, Jose? What would you consider yourself? Saved? Because you're not saved. So what would you consider yourself? And what do you believe in? Do you believe in Jesus?
Yeah, so my name is Jose. Backstory on me first. I was raised Roman Catholic, so it's just by tradition. It wasn't really anything that I took part in. It was just kind of family inherited. Kind of like everything else is in your family. Usually just kind of throw things upon you and that's what you are. Um, I was baptized. I did my first communion, Roman Catholic, but I feel like it was more of a status thing. I might get backlash on that, but I feel like it was more of a parent status thing at the time that we did it, that they can say, oh yeah, my son's baptized and did their first communion. And so I kind of went with it. I wouldn't say that I'm saved because my definition of saved, I guess, is like different. But
Well, explain what the different is, though.
the difference is saved. She says she's saved, so she lives by the book or the word. But it's kind of hard because when you fall short, I guess, and you still say you're saved, but you still do the same thing, I don't see how that is a thing. But my amazing wife can explain it better than I can because she always says she falls short. So, and I would say I do believe in Jesus Christ just because I was Roman Catholic, and but I'm still making my own opinion on what I am. So before I go in all toes and I say I believe in something, because when I say I believe in something, I feel like that's a very strong word and you have to stand by it and it's almost like you're going to die for it. So that's how I take it personally. When I think someone says they're saved or they believe in Christ, that's what I tend to think that's what it is. But I see a lot of people short in that. I feel like a lot of people's integrity and accountability, if something were to happen, they wouldn't stand on business like they say they would. So this is just our journey of us. She's been saved for a year, how it's been, how I've kind of dealt with it, because we used to do, the youngin' things and go out and drink and party all the time, every weekend, mind you, before all the kids we had, of course, but we weren't living the best life, as you can imagine now that she is saved, and what we have to monitor, our music or what we listen to, kind of shows we watch, try to embed it into the kids.
Yeah.
So she does a major part in that,
Yeah.
making sure it's okay.
Yeah, that's a good point that you're talking about, because I kind of want to talk about how we manage. I think that in our marriage, every marriage is different, but for the most part, we have a lot of agreements on things. So even though he wouldn't consider himself saved, we still agree on, our finances. We still have a agreement on how we parenting and how we, discipline our children and how we run our house. I would say the only difference is the conflicts of since I've been saved. This is the really thing that is hard, I feel like, for people who do get saved, why they're still in the marriage, because I believe it's in Corinthians in the Bible. It talks about, if you do become a believer, you're not supposed to leave your husband if they're not a believer. So I would never, ever leave him because he's not. But I do, for the record, know one day he is going to be a man of God and he is going to be saved. So I would keep praying for him. But I think the conflict is where, since I'm saved, I know what God says, how we should live. And then it's a conflict between us because the personalities are different and how we believe are different, where I'm like, if I knew if he was a saved man, he would have went about that differently. But also I have to understand that it's only been a year, and I wouldn't even say that full year I've been 100% like a Christ follower, because I was most definitely still drinking, still, doing me. I want to say it was like the July, August of last year is when I really was like, Raven, you need to go all in or nothing. So that, but I have to give grace because I'm 30 years old. I was living 29 years.
30.
I was living 29 years unsaved, and God was still with me. God still gave me grace. God was still a merciful God. So I also have to, we're supposed to be Christ-like. So I have to give him that same grace, and I can't get mad at him. And I just have to continue praying for him, even though he's not considered saved. But I do believe that prayer helps. And I believe, just being patient with your significant other, because that matters too. You don't want to say you're saved, but then not give the grace that God has given you. So yeah, do you have any thoughts about that?
No real thoughts. It's just, I think the biggest conflict is when we disagree on certain things now, just because she thinks we should go one way, and I'm just used to catering, doing it my way. Very structural guy, so it came from my family, my dad specifically, but then it kind of was enhanced once I joined the military. So I'm a very structural, logical guy. So I know logic takes a good part of how some things are viewed, and we don't agree on a lot of things because I can't logically think, or I try to puzzle it. But I am open-minded. So even though I'm logical, I am open-minded. So I'm taking in consideration and reading the book myself, learning about Jesus Christ, what he's about. So I'm not influenced or bandwagoning off her or bandwagoning off any social media platforms and this and that, because I know once you do that, you could be biased, especially if it's someone that you like. You always be biased. So if they say something wrong and then someone tries to correct you and be like, nah, my person said this, and if he said it, it's nah, but it didn't come from him. So I'm just trying to deep root it from the source. So if I ever do become a follower, I stand on it, and I stand on it on 10 toes, and I'll die for it, because when I believe something, I feel like you strongly have to believe in it, or else if something is faulty into it and your foundation is not right, it's just going to crumble. So put it in perspective of my personal life, I joined the military and I would die for my country, die for my family, die for my freedom, and I wouldn't think past anything else. Like, I'll do it in an instant. Something happened, I think everyone in the military could vouch for it. Anyone that, went through basic combat training and did their career or whatever and build those relationships, further their careers. Basic 101 basics in the military, throwing grenades in your open base to see who's going to be the one that's going to sacrifice themselves without hesitation and have that glory for their country, that they're able to protect their brothers and let them go home, even though they had to make the ultimate sacrifice, knowing that they would always carry that legacy for them. So I kind of put it in perspective now. If I stand like that for my country? Would I do it for Jesus Christ? And right now, it's just kind of in the air, learning about
Yeah.
it. But
And so as we're making this video, the point is that we want to put out a lot of content. We're also going to probably be, our next videos are kind of going to be of our kids. We're going to just plan on doing a lot of things, but I also want to talk about when he said logic, because the thing about it is, in the Bible, it talks about don't rely on your own understanding. And I think that we would never fully understand, because I feel like that's just the human mind. So I feel like if he's wanting to make logic of everything, or 100% understand Jesus, I don't think he will be able to. But I think that that's something that he has to kind of walk through himself when it comes to about Jesus. There's times where, I'm being very honest, you guys, I am not a seasoned Christian, but there is times where I am not so 100%. Like, I'm like, you know what, God, and this is why I have a relationship with God, where I be like, I'm not necessarily believing that you are real today. I have those moments, and I know that might sound silly, but that's just me being 100% honest. But he always shows me that he is real. He always, I don't believe in coincidences no more. Since I got saved, I believe that things meant to happen, and he'll always show me that he's present and he's here. But I understand that, because I feel like it's important to question. I want people to question. Just like I tell my kids, always ask questions. Don't just go along with it because you see somebody else. So I'm actually honored, because I do think that this, first of all, him making this video with me is crazy. I know that when some people who know us watch this video, they're gonna be shocked, because my husband is not the one to want to be on camera. But I'm so honored that he wanted to do this, because I think that this is just a start. This is just a start of him. And I hope that we could both see us unfold of you becoming a Christ follower, and me just kind of becoming more knowledgeable. But yeah, so that was a good little conversation that we had.
yeah.
So do we want to talk about, so we kind of talked about I'm saved, he's not, just a little drift of that, why he's not, and what does he consider saved, and then what I consider saved is, but also, do you want to talk about a little bit more of why we decided to do this video and make a YouTube channel and get on social media platforms?
Yeah, I ain't really a social guy, so she kind of caters to that. So as you can see, she's probably leading the conversations more, and she's the funny one. So, and more easy to hear, I feel like, on the mic than I am. But I think we just did it just to kind of give it a shot, because I mean,
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah. So a little bit of backstory. So I actually, like 4 or 5 years ago, tried to make a YouTube channel. That failed. It didn't work.
Y'all should go watch it. It was great.
That failed. It didn't work. But so what happened was, I had lost my job. I was a social worker. And I had lost my job due to my grant coming to an end. And it wouldn't have been a big deal if I wasn't 8 months pregnant. But since I am 8 months pregnant, I just thought it was really hard to go find another job. And then I just felt Jesus telling me to be still. Like, I felt like he was like, I'm closing this door, Raven. Don't open this door back. So I decided, let me be a stay-at-home mom for these couple of months. And when I tell you, prayer works, because I was so scared. This has been my career for 3 years now. I was so scared of finances, but I prayed that God gave me peace. I prayed that God, because Jesus is a provider, Jesus is our savior, he's our protector. So I just prayed for security when I decided to, because I could have got another job, but I decided not to. And so this is kind of how we came upon our YouTube channel, where I've always wanted to do YouTube. And then he actually was on board, which is crazy, because he's never on board for things like that. So I just felt like I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity. So yeah, so this is our first YouTube video together. So hopefully we're not too awkward.
I mean, what type of person would I be if I didn't support my wife, right?
But yeah, so we just wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit of about us. Probably more videos will go into that, and just talk about our children and baby number 4, all boys. But yeah, so I really appreciate everybody who's watching. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And if you guys want to see or ask questions, or give us something in order to make another video. I feel like we'll do these just one-on-ones with me and the wife, just because I feel like it'll build our relationship and we'll have that one-on-one connection with each
Yeah.
other, because it's kind of hard to have it with our kids.
Yeah.
So
While the kids are present, yeah.
Yeah.
But most definitely we'll be adding the kids because our kids are characters. They're hilarious. We love them. So I think that kind of just making this whole YouTube channel about us, where we'll do sit downs like this, but also where we're just like doing family things and just vibing as a family. I think that it'll just be a mixture of a little bit of everything. But for sure, if you guys have any questions, please comment. Of course,
feel free to judge the saved and not saved guy. And all the stuff we do, because I know the stuff we do is gonna either cause some flames, or people are gonna dislike, and be like, "How she still do that if she says she's saved?" And that goes to the same thing as I've been talking about. When you start on believing in something, I don't just take it lightly. Even though I give her a hard time for it, but she does a great job, and I do admire her for her transition and being saved and being able to speak about it. And when she don't know something, she goes back in her book, reads it, and gets the answers. And if she doesn't know, because the book doesn't say it knows or doesn't have the answer for that question, literally it's not like you make up the answer anyways. It's clearly she doesn't know. It wasn't said in the book as well, and it's not something we're just making up. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. That was really nice.
Of course. And I guess that's the wrap for this one.
That's it.
See you on the next one.
See ya.